Happy Homestead. Okay.
Go ahead, who's it?
Call this meeting to order. Time?
Time is 6 o'clock on this Thursday, November 16th, 2023.
Director Calvins.
Present.
Director Davis.
Present.
Director Baker.
Here.
Director Gregory.
Yes.
Director Smiley.
Director Smiley is absent, he is ill, so he will not be here.
I need approval of the regular meeting agenda.
All motion to approve the regular meeting agenda?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none. 4-0 with 1 absent.
Okay, and let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Collins, would you lead us?
Absolutely, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over your heart. Veterans may salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment and communications for items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to speak on a matter not on the agenda may be heard at this time. However, no action will be taken until placed on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Please sign in with name and address at the podium.
Ready to go.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm here today, my name is Dan Hydo. The district safety is at risk, and this must be addressed. Last week, a man came into the district and made death threats towards the staff members. This man provides specific details about both the board and the staff, addresses, behavior patterns, and alluded to the fact that he worked with local law enforcement, could get away with it and not having any trouble. Extreme violence towards the staff. He stated in this tirade that an old man from the district was going around getting water protests, gave him information, and encouraged this man's anger towards the staff. To the best of my knowledge, the only old man that's been going around with water petitions is Owen Davis.
What?
Owen has been very vocal during public comment for years with inappropriate, inflammatory, and false rhetoric. In continuing this behavior, now as a representative of the board, he has put the district staff at great risk. So great, in fact, that the sheriff's department has served a restraining order to this man that came into the district. There's a track record of interaction with concerns of harassment and threats that have been directed towards district staff. An example of this is a present ex-employee, Paula Friedman, who has repeatedly yelled at staff members in public in grocery stores in the area, who has followed them and has harassed and intimidated them with her vehicle, and continues to harass everybody that works for the district. Nobody should have to put up with this. It said that once is chance, twice is coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern. There's a pattern here. The third part of this pattern is Ashley Sangster. He was voted off as board president on August 19th of 2021. I was at this meeting. I heard firsthand what his actions were against the district, including harassing and abusing district staff members while briefly stepping in as GM. A fellow board member spoke about some of his inappropriate use of district funds for personal legal counsel, biased actions for his personal gain and trying to become district GM, all of which can be found in the 819 video of the meeting. Since Ashley's ousting as board president and resignation, he's influenced his confidants, Owen and Paula, to continue this dirty behavior. Ashley continues his pattern of misinformation, manipulation, and false information through using this board member as his own puppet. Just watch the last couple videos and you'll see what I mean. It's this board's duty to do everything within their power to protect the staff and the district as a whole for the good of the community. I request that the only way to accomplish this is, number one, to refute false information presented by fellow board 2, hold each other accountable to the ICMA Code of Ethics agreed to in the board handbook and to do what's best for this community in a lawful and ethical manner. And number 3, most importantly, place a resolution for actions unbecoming of a board member in the agenda that brings Owen Davis under control and forces him to abide by the rules and laws that he agreed to as a member of this board.
You have time, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yielding.
And I'd like to give one thing to the board clerk for review by the board.
Yes, thank you. Okay, is there any other public comments?
Yes. I think everything that you just said.
Did you sign in?
Is false. I have been attacked on the streets. I have video to prove it from certain people here. And I have been with Owen out on the street, and he has not said anything that he is saying that we're going out and spreading all these false rumors and encouraging people to do things. And people can do whatever they want to do. They know what's going on here. They know how corrupt this district is, and they have a voice as well. And talk about people harassing people is ridiculous.
Thank you.
Mr. Hyder's statement is not only defamatory, but it's flatly untrue. First and foremost, I was not voted off the board, I resigned. That's lie number 1. Lie number 2 was that district council asserted in that meeting where I was crucified at the hands of staff that I did not in fact use money. And I was not trying to become the general manager. I was being asked by then general manager Rob Robertson to become the general manager. So asking council if I could even do that as a board member ascending to a staff role. So there was no misuse of money by me. I did not get voted off. So everything that Mr. Hyder has said is flatly untrue. And it's quite frankly insulting. You think that we're here for bad reasons? No, we're here to stand up for the community. Somebody has to. Because without somebody speaking on behalf of the community, nothing gets done for their benefit. So I hope that you were here, most of you were here, know that this is 100% BS. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is there any other public comment? No? Okay, moving on to special presentations. So, there is none, so we're moving on to non-district reports. San Luis Obispo County organizations.
Point of order? Yeah, if you have more to say, please. We can't.
Point of order, thank you. If I have to ask you again, you will be removed. San Luis Obispo County organizations?
Public service or sheriff?
Sheriff's Department. Okay.
Sergeant Strawbridge, I'm in the North Station, Dublin office, so this, I don't really have anything to report other than to introduce myself. This is my first community district meeting for San Miguel, so I'm not aware of some of the things you guys got going on, but I'm happy to be here. And it's kind of a gray area for addressing one of the things that was brought up. Yes, there's basically been a restraining order served on a person regarding inappropriate conduct. Part of the reason I'm here today to make sure that everything's peaceful and obviously that this restrained person doesn't come to miss a meeting. Other than that, I can't comment on any ongoing sheriff's office investigations regarding that, but I can tell you that it's being addressed. It's being addressed appropriately. So.
What's your name?
Strobridge, STRO, you're right, DG, do you want it written down or?
Here.
STRO.
What?
You want me to write it down or?
No, just
STRO, BRI, DG.
Okay, thank you. Is there any community service organizations?
Good evening. Scott Munson, Go Firefighters Association. I came a little ill prepared today. Been busy doing other work-related things, and the community service organization stuff's kind of slid down the ladder, but we are planning our Christmas parade. We did get the permit, so that'll be on the 16th of December. We encourage everybody to show up. We are working hard at making email contacts and looking past participants in other events throughout the county to come and join us so we could elevate participation. We will be participating in the Paso Robles Christmas Parade, as well as the Shannon Christmas Parade and the Templeton Christmas Parade. So we're doing a lot of community networking amongst the fire departments and different agencies and things of that nature. We will be having Santa at the fire station on the 16th. If you haven't seen that, please come by. It's a nice event for the children of San Miguel to receive a toy and get to visit with Santa. And with that, I believe that is all, unless you have any questions for me.
Any questions, Ricky?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll do public comment then. Camp Roberts?
I went to community service.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then also the Lions Club will be, looks like they're going to be doing a barbecue, possibly, I think it was tri-tip or ribs, I can't remember which one it was, but for the Christmas parade.
Whatever I choose to do.
And then also in December, the Lions Club does do the Santa program at the school at William Larson, Kathy Culver, and at Pleasant Valley. And so they've been gathering the resources to make all those goodies happen for all the children out there, all the schools. So.
Well done.
Okay, very good. Any other community service organizations? All right, moving on to Camp Roberts. No attendance? Okay. Is there any public comment relating to the non-district reports? No? All right, moving on to General Manager report.
We have a couple things for you tonight. Number one, the board members that still need to complete training need to do that as soon as possible. Email was sent out with that training. If you have any questions, you can contact Ms. Parent and she'll help you out with that. And also the 700 forms, for those of you that need to do that, need to be filled out as soon as possible. So if you have any trouble with that, Ms. Parent can also help you with that. We're still working with the senior center to update our contract for this building. It's taking a lot longer than anticipated. And other than that, our next board meeting is December 14th, and that's all I got for you.
Okay. Any questions, directors? Or a general manager? No?
I've got a question.
Okay.
Mr. Dodds. I understand we're leasing this facility for our meetings. Why can't the meetings be held down at our new double wide trailer down there or back in the fire station where they used to be?
So there's not enough space to have it at our office at the wastewater treatment plant, so that's not even an option. But we can have it at the fire station, however, this is a better facility for the cost to have it here. The quality of our meetings is better, and it takes less staff time and it's less of a headache to try to get everything sorted out at the fire station. The acoustics aren't as good, and obviously this has heating there, so climate control is better for the public.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for general manager? No? Okay, moving on. Oh, is there any public comment on the general manager's report? No? All right, moving on to district council.
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. District utilities.
We meet again. Just had a couple things. We were heard a couple weeks, one on 15th Street and one on 11th Street. And that's basically all I have.
Okay,
And obviously you have my report. If you have any questions about the report, I'm happy to answer.
okay, thank you. All right. Directors, is there any questions?
I got one question. Because it's utilities, and the way, I guess my question is, is the office for the utilities gonna be locked up all the time? Or what's the deal on that? I understood when I was in there the other day, because they were trying to catch somebody that was in that area. Is that gonna be an ongoing thing?
So for the short term, yes. For the long term, no. We're assessing our situation, and we may be making changes to the office and availability of the office. So I don't have a good answer for you right now, but for the rest of this week and probably next week, the gate will be closed. We are still open. If you come to the gate, you can call the number, and we'll let people in on a case-by-case basis, depending on what their need is.
Well, it's public utilities, and basically, in my opinion, unless you've got a really good reason other than what I consider false claims Mr. Heido made, it should remain open during the day, during business hours.
So our decision to keep the gate closed is for staff safety, which is pretty much the highest level of, issue that we have. So based on providing for staff safety, it's my decision to keep the gate closed. We are open. 99% of what our customers need can be handled over the phone. For the few people that come to our office, they can call at the gate, we can see who it is, and we can let them in on a case-by-case basis. So none of these decisions were made on what Mr. Heido said or anybody else says. They're based on facts.
And legal advice.
And legal advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Dodds, can you plainly state the situation that happened?
There's a death threat, personally, in person, to a staff member, and the gate's going to remain closed until we can fully better out that situation. There was mention of a restraining order that has occurred, but it is temporary at this point, and so we need to see that through, and we need to make sure that staff is safe in the meantime.
So somebody came into the office and made a death threat?
Correct.
Is that enough of a measure of safety precaution needed, Director Davis?
I would have to find out the details on it because, because Mr. Heido basically blamed me.
It has
For doing it.
nothing to do with Mr. Heido. Did you listen to the sheriff?
Yes, I did.
Deputy.
And I listened to Mr. Heido saying that it was one of the board members, and he specifically didn't name me, but I'm the eldest person on here, so I pretty much assumed that's who he was talking about.
So regardless of how it started, the net result is that we had an individual come into our office and make death threats against staff. That is the primary driving factor for the gates to be closed. As an aside, they had that escape person running around, and it happened to be the day you came by.
Yeah, I understand that part.
So it was just a happy coincidence.
Yeah.
But the result is the gate is closed. The gate will be closed until we're certain that our staff are safe. The office is still open, like I said. Anybody can call the office. If you come to the office, there's a number at the gate. You can call that number, and we can let people in on a case-by-case basis.
No, thank you.
All right, is there any public comment relating to the district utilities report? No? Okay, moving on to the fire chief report.
Good evening again. The fire chief's report is submitted as written. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'm losing my voice, so I apologize. There's no public comment.
Okay. Any questions, directors? I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, go ahead, Dr. Davis.
Yes, I do have, I don't know if I should wait until the resolution.
Well, this would be specifically just on the fire chief's report, starting on page 11. So this is not in regarding to any resolution.
Okay.
Or 12, I guess it is. So my question is, the vehicle that was sold at auction, what did we gain from that?
I believe it was $62.50 minus fees of $650-ish. There might have been a $50 smog fee. The check was processed through staff, and I believe at $5,600 in that area.
Okay.
I could tell you at a moment's notice if I go through and
No, that's okay.
it's in the vehicle log.
Okay. And then the 8601, what is the 8601?
8601 is the Ford 2010 Ford F-150 four-wheel drive assistant fire chief vehicle.
Okay.
So we're looking at in December, it needs to be smogged. We'll smog it in December, then we'll start decommissioning it and then explore options for another command vehicle and then transition the GMC into a all-service utility vehicle.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any public comment relating to the fire chief's report? No? All right, moving on to consent calendar. The items listed below are scheduled for consideration as a group in one vote. Any director may request an item be withdrawn from the consent agenda to discuss or to change the recommended course of action. Unless an item is pulled for separate consideration by the board, the following items are recommended for approval without further discussion. Let me have public comment first.
Okay.
Is there any public comment on the consent calendar? No? Okay. Director?
So one of the things I did want to discuss briefly was agenda item 9.3. That was the JPA and MOA with special districts of the IWMA, just because of the changing of the dynamics in the board composition.
Okay, so you want to pull it?
I would like to just pull it just to talk about it briefly. So.
Okay.
Let's proceed with the vote on the rest, and then we'll...
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve consent calendar items 1 and 2?
I'll move to approve consent items 1 and 2.
Second.
I have a motion on the floor to approve consent calendar 1 and 2, second by Director Baker, second by Director Calvin. Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Calvin?
Yes.
Director Baker?
Yes.
Gregory?
Yes.
Passes 4-0-1.
Okay, and then moving on to approve resolution 2023-52, approving a joinder agreement and restated integrated waste management authority, IWMA, JPA, and MOA with special districts, and authorize the board president to sign the amendment to the MOA. Those acronyms.
I know, it's alphabet soup. Madam President, I just wanted to pull the item just because it's been a long-standing position of mine that the special districts are underrepresented on the IWMA. We've had one seat, despite the fact that we represent about 100, I want to say it was like 60 to 100,000 people in the county. And the fact is that, we talk about like no taxation without representation, and IWMA board, a lot of times they'll make decisions because the cities have the controlling authority to vote. Even though places like, Napomo C.S.D, they have 20,000 people they represent, but they have the same representative with us, while a place like Pismo Beach has 8,000 people, a much smaller population, which they have their own controlling vote. And that's always just been a sticking point of mine. I know though that, through the negotiation, that the county's going to, lose some representative, dilute their authority. And I just don't know how, because it's the county, and they do represent unincorporated areas, they represent cities, so that's kind of why I want to just pull that for that conversation and discussion, just briefly.
Okay.
So my problem is the fact, I don't want to approve a JPA, the fact that we keep, making all these agreements, but we still have the same representative of power on this board. We share one person.
Right.
And that's my biggest hang up about this.
So the net result of this is that we don't gain any representation, the county loses representation,
Right.
and they essentially they are down to one representative on the board. So each of the 7 cities and the county, and then one for the special districts. So it's basically leveling the playing field between the cities and the county. I agree that the special districts probably should have more representation, but that's not how this was structured in the beginning. We're not likely to get that.
No.
Currently, the management of IWMA is sympathetic to the special districts, and 1383 specifically allows a lot of leeway for special districts because of population. So a lot of the new requirements that are coming out really don't apply to most of the special districts. But IWMA is, under the management of Peter Cron, is doing a lot more for everybody in general, regardless of shape, size, color, whatever. So I think, in my perspective, we're getting a lot more out of it than we were before. They're not just ignoring us like they were before. So, I'm comfortable with this.
Okay.
In the future, as things evolve, I think that it probably will evolve again. The one benefit of allowing the county back in is that the county unincorporated area sort of dilutes the cost to IWMA. So everybody that's that's paying that 4.4% right now could in the next year see a reduction in that. So across the board, countywide, we could get a reduction, which is off of everybody's trash bill. So my recommendation would be to approve it. But it's up to the board.
I have a quick question, all right. Just for some history, so the county pulled out of this deal in 2021.
So
why did they pull out?
when the county had more seats on the board, they thought that it wasn't being fair to the county. So the county had enough seats on the board, and the board majority of the time decided that they were going to pull out of it because they thought that the IWMA was being mismanaged and that it was at the detriment of the county, and the county could do it on their own. The board, board members, I should say, not the board, but board members stated that they thought that it was going to be cheaper for the county to do it on their own, even though their consultant that they hired told them specifically that it was going to cost them a lot more to do it on their own. So lo and behold, they went out, or the supervisors voted to withdraw from IWMA, which basically led to an increase in cost to everybody that stayed in IWMA. The county did it sort of on their own by contracting back to IWMA for a lot of things that IWMA was doing for them previously. This makes a lot of sense, right? Yeah. And they actually hired Peter Cron to run the county's solid waste division. When the position opened up at IWMA, Peter Cron left the county, went back to IWMA because he had worked there before, and became the executive officer for IWMA. Peter is a very, very talented, very knowledgeable person, and when he left the county, I don't think that they were able to sort of fill that gap. And since the board dynamic changed at the supervisor level, they circled back around and voted to start working to rejoin the IWMA. So basically that whole experiment cost county taxpayers a lot of money.
Thank you.
Any other questions, directors? All right, is there any public comment? No? All right. So, is there a motion? Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve and keep an eye on the dynamics, make sure we're still getting our value out of the IWMA.
We're certainly watching out for our interests.
Because you're going to hear from me again.
You know where to find me.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion on the floor by Director Calvin to approve resolution 2023-52 approving a joiner agreement and restating integrated waste management authority JPA and MOA with special districts, and authorize the board president to sign the amendment to the MOA. Second by Director Baker. Director Baker?
Yes.
Director Davis?
Yes.
Director Calvin?
Yes.
Vice President Gregory?
Yes.
Passes 4-0, no absence.
Okay, moving on to board action items, monthly financial reports.
Oh, sorry, yeah. That's what I wrote.
Monthly financial reports for October 2023, recommendation, review, and comments. Once the fiscal year 2022-23 audit is approved, formal approval of monthly reports will be presented.
Good evening. The October financials are on page 149 through 187 of this month's packet. Again, asking for you to review the financials and they will be brought back for board approval. The auditor has confirmed he can come to the December board meeting to give his presentation. So we'll have the 22-23 audit at the December meeting. Otherwise, it's submitted as written and I can answer any questions or find answers if you have them.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions, directors?
Yes, I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Utilities is one thing that's kind of jumped out at me. So I'm looking at page 180, count 381. So it says we're at 49% of budget, which we're like a third of the way through. I mean, is there a reason? I would think utilities would be fairly easy to budget. Is that why we're almost 50% at budget? We're only third of the way through the year. And that was both on the wastewater and the water.
Sorry, you were looking at a wet line?
Page 180.
180,
Yeah,
what line were you looking at?
Well, it's 381, utilities, electric.